So in this video, I wanted to go over a workflow that we have built using heyreach, Instantly, and Clay. So this is how the automation looks like. As soon as we get an interested lead in our pipeline on Instantly, that particular lead gets pushed onto our Clay table. From Clay, we'll be starting a LinkedIn campaign using heyreach. The whole thought process behind this particular approach is that LinkedIn ultimately acts as a better conversion channel compared to email, because you have a lot of added proof. You're probably posting a lot of testimonials, case studies, you're posting content consistently, and people are more likely to respond to that compared to something like email, where they have no context on who you are, where you're from, what product you're selling, what service you're selling, right? So it's just that it becomes an easier and a better conversion channel compared to email, and that's the whole thesis or thought process behind this. So it's pretty simple. As soon as we get an interested reply in our pipeline, we'll be pushing that lead through a webhook. The problem with with Instantly is they don't have client level webhooks. You will have to either create individual webhooks for every campaign, or you create a webhook for all campaigns. So, if you're running a lot of campaigns for a lot of clients, it becomes a bit difficult. Probably there's a make workaround for this. And if you have a specific nomenclature while naming your client campaigns, let's say for client one, it's client one name, geography, job title you're targeting, client two name, geography, the titles you're targeting. You could probably come up with an automation where you can segregate campaigns based on that, but again, that becomes a bit complex, and you'll have to do that on something like Make. That can't be done with the current setup we have. But the process, still works the same, right? So as soon as you get your interested lead on Clay, you'll be launching a heyreach campaign. So to launch a heyreach campaign, you need the person's first name, last name, and their LinkedIn URL. In this particular campaign, I had not imported the person's LinkedIn URL while pushing leads onto Instantly, so we had to use something like Clayagent. But if you have already pushed that, you can just add that as another column and feed that into heyreach. In case you don't, again, you come up with a pretty simple prompt: find this person's personal LinkedIn URL, first name, last name, website. So usually these are the three fields which you'll have in the email campaigns that you're running, which you'll get from the webhook. If you don't, I think you can still find the person's LinkedIn URL with the email, right? So the email and the website should be good enough to find the person's LinkedIn URL, and yeah, you're good to go. So once you have this data, you just map that accordingly: first name, last name, and person's LinkedIn URL. Once you're done, click save and run, and this is how the workflow looks like on heyreach. So again, it's pretty simple. You can play around with this and make it as complex as you want. But so we're sending out a connection request first. We wait for a day, and then we send a message. Again, it's pretty open-ended and a very soft CTA. Hey, first name, we just spoke over email. You mentioned you'd be interested in learning more about our service. What would you like to see? In case they don't accept, our campaign runs for 4 days. You view their profile one day, follow them the next, and then you like their post on the third day. You can add in more actions to this, and you can play around with this. So this is how the whole process looks like. And yeah, the whole thesis behind this, as I said, is it eventually becomes a better conversion channel, as there's not much information you can share at one time, and people cannot look you up on email also, right? So they'll have to look you up on LinkedIn, or they'll have to look your website up. Alternatively, this is a better approach, and people are more likely to respond back and are more comfortable having a conversation. So this is the whole thought process behind it. And yeah, let me know what you think.